Ladies and gentlemen, and all in between, in my latest video about Silent Hill F, there was a part where I talk about the hypocrisy of fans, and that got me thinking that the Silent Hill fans, they don't actually understand what they are a fan of. They don't understand what the town of Silent Hill actually means. I think most of them think that the town is just a backdrop, so where the horror happens, where the main characters have to go, and then stuff happens to them. But that couldn't be more further than the truth, because we have main characters like James, Heather, Harry, and the others, but you can consider Silent Hill, the town itself, as a main character. Like for me, I always considered it as the antagonist of the entire story of the game from the beginning to the end. I know we have antagonists. I mean, but I always consider it like the main antagonist is the town, because to escape it, you have to defeat it in a way, you know. So this video I decided to talk about what does the town actually means, what does it stands for, like what makes it such a creepy creation to begin with. And I will be talking about Pyramid Head for a little bit, because there's also some misconception about him, and I want to clear this out from what I know. So as you see, the video is dark because I want to get to the spirit of the Silent Hill. There's no fog, sorry. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. If there's one thing that Silent Hill fans consistently misunderstand, is the town itself. Like I said, too often people treat Silent Hill like it's just a creepy, haunted place full of fog and monsters. But that couldn't be further from the truth. The town is not some fixed universal hell. No. It's a living, shifting mirror that changes depending on who walks in it. We already know that. Let's take it, think about it. For example, Harry Mason in the first game. Like, Harry Mason wasn't being punished for his sins. No, he was actually thrown into Alyssa's nightmare, like forced to navigate the trauma she endured, the nightmare she had to face. And then we have Silent Hill 3, like Heather's journey is also shaped entirely by her identity as Alyssa reborn. You see, like in the first and the third game, both of them are not shaped after the main character in a way. They're shaped about the antagonist. And then I think people get it wrong because they think Henry Mason's Silent Hill is just because of him, stuff like that. But this is the first misconception I heard about Silent Hill 1, And let's talk about the game that everybody knows, Silent Hill 2, which is, I think, the clearest example that the town, it doesn't just look the same for everyone. It bends and twists it around James, like shaping itself into a reflection of his guilt, of his repression, of his hate of his wife, if you want to say so. And we can take it even further more. In Silent Hill 4, Silent Hill, it doesn't even exist. It's only the other world that exists. And it's not even about the Henrys, it's about Walters. So you see that the town, it bends around the trauma of whoever, I think, has it the worst, in my opinion. And this is like the perfect example of why people misunderstood the town. Let's talk about Silent Hill 2, for example. Again, there are a lot of characters. We have Angela, we have Eddie, we have the little girl, and we have Maria. But for some reason, we still meet them in our version of Silent Hill. Like, I know everyone has their own version of Silent Hill. Angela has its own version. Maria has its own version. Eddie has its own version. James has its own version. But for some reason, we meet them in our version. But that doesn't mean that we see the same thing they see. Because people assume that Eddie and Angela see the same thing as James, just a town filled with fog. But that couldn't be further from the truth. Because, yes, the fog is universal. We already know that. How the character sees it, what it means to each character, differs from one to another. Like, let's talk for James, for example. It's tied to his repression and denial. The fog keeps him from seeing the truth until he's ready to face it. So let's go to Angela, for example. The fog is suffocating her, it's isolating her. She's already living in a trauma of being essayed, so the fog just doubles on that. Literally, the fog is like saying, you cannot escape, you will stay there. And then for Eddie, it plays on his paranoia because he always thinks that, oh, people are watching him. So the fog acts like hidden eyes. Like, oh yeah, people are watching you, but you cannot see them. So it just amplifies his paranoia tenfold. And that's why I like Silent Hill and what it does. Like, everyone can walk the same streets, see the same fog, touch even the same doors. But beyond that baseline, Silent Hill customizes everything that is inside. For let's take, if we can play as Angela, we can walk at the same doors as James, but what we see inside is completely different. The fog, they can all see it. We know that. No, but it isn't the same fog, if you know what I mean. It's like a backdrop that amplifies their inner struggles. Like, imagine you have something that you're hiding. The town will know it. The fog will show it, no matter how bad you wanna, fight it or stuff like this. And I know people who say, but oh, in the first game, like, the fog acts the same as James. Yes, because the first game was in the PS1. There was limitation, bro. I think this is why Silent Hill 2 cleverly lets characters cross paths. Like, they share the shell of the town, like same streets, same fog, certain location, but the content, the monsters, like the other world shifting, the symbolism is individualized each and every one. And I think in Silent Hill 2, what gathers them all in the same, I think, nightmare in a sense, is the deep regret, like the trauma, the hate that they have inside. So it just pulls them all together. And now we know what the town stands for, but this is the real secret of Silent Hill. The monsters aren't random, they aren't consistent across games, they're tailored nightmares to each individual. Like, Silent Hill is like a mirror that shows you exactly what you don't want to see. Like, for example, if you look in the mirror, you will see your flaws. Inside, you will tell them to yourself, but you will not have the ability to express them, because if you do, they will come true. That's what the town comes. The town forces you to see what's inside. It's literally like rips you open and tell you, here, look what you truly are, your true nature. This is what I like about it so much. Like, this is why the fog world and the other world, they don't stay consistent from game to game. They're not the town's default settings. They're personalized, psychological. In one character's eyes, right? The other world can be rusty, metallic, and industrial. Okay? While in another, it might be decayed. It might be decayed, it might be fleshy, it might be even religious symbols, stuff like that. That's because the town is like a parasite. It digs into your subconscious, it pulls up your worst fears and memories, and it makes you walk through them like a living nightmare. You have to face them, you cannot hide. But if you want to go even deeper, the town itself also has like a deeper history. And that's where things get even darker. Like, Silent Hill was built on Native American sacred land, like a place of spiritual power that was desecrated by settlers. It became from a Native American land into a site of ritual, sacrifices, and executions even. That's why the town has this supernatural pull. It's been corrupted, like from the ground up, from the root. That's why archetypes like Pyramid Head exist. The executioners, which Pyramid Head is, were real in the town's history, and their shadow still lingers. That's why when someone like, for example, James arrives, the town uses that archetype as raw material. It uses it as a way to punish that character. That's why we see so many iterations of executioners in the later games. That's why people hate for some reason. I don't know why. So, what you can summarize from everything that I said just right now, Silent Hill isn't just personal, it's historical, it has layers, It draws from the cult's rituals, from Alyssa's suffering, from the guilt and trauma of whoever is unlucky enough to wander into it. Sometimes it punishes, sometimes it judges, sometimes it drags you into someone else's nightmare, whether you deserve it or you don't. That's why the town looks different in every game. The fog world and the other world, they don't have a default design. They're not like glitches or inconsistencies. They're custom built. In James' story, it's rust, decay, industrial walls, endless halls of guilt. In Heather's, it's flesh, it's blood, and religious symbolism. In Walter's, it's prison cells, graveyards, and spiraling hellscapes. Silent Hill isn't a haunted house with set decoration. Oh, is it gonna be the same? No. It's a parasite that rebuilds itself from the ground up for each victim. Now, this is the only reason why I wanted to do this all together, right? The later games like Homecoming, Downpour, and Shattered Memories, which is my favorite, this is where the fandom really gets tripped up. They really don't understand at all what the town means. They always criticize those. I mean, let's say 2 games. Let's say 3 games. They criticize them heavily on why. Oh no, this isn't Silent Hill. Oh no, this isn't how the town's supposed to be. This is not how the other world's supposed to be. This is not, and it baffles me. In Silent Hill, Homecoming, I know it gets a lot of hate because it reuses Pyramid Head. That's because people think that Konami uses it to have more sales. Because in a way you can say that, right? But in another, the town itself, it always had those executioner types, right? So they always have to change them. So let's say for James is Pyramid Head, for Alex is the Pyramid Head, but they call him the Boogeyman. But that can be like, if you think about it, if James sees that because he's guilty and he's repressing his guilt, and Alex sees that because he's also guilty and he's has trauma that he's repressing, doesn't make sense they will see the same executioner. Doesn't make sense that the town will use Pyramid Head as the same executioner for Alex as it did for Henry. No, for James, sorry. And I know it's far-fetched, but it does make sense if you think about it. But people don't like it. They say, oh, this Konami uses it, blah 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 blah. And also in Downpour took a different approach. Like the monsters of Murphy are completely his own. They have, they kind of suck, not gonna lie, but they're his own. They're his fears, and people still get them wrong. They'll be like, there's no variety. There's no variety of monsters. There's no. Silent Hill doesn't care about variety. It doesn't. If it has one type that they are afraid of, it will keep using them until you face them. And that baffles me. How can you call yourself a fan if you don't understand the basics of what the town actually stands for? And in Shattered Memory, which I like, it's completely throw the formula out of the window. The town, it exists, but instead of throwing monsters after monster after monster into you, the town sees how broken you are. It sees what you're lingering. It sees how your memories are twisted, and it does one long therapy session. That's what the town does to you, because it knows that if it did fighting monsters, it will not affect you the same. It will not hold the mirror onto you. It will not say, look inside you, this is the real you. And that's why I like Shattered Memories more, because it's more of a therapeutic. The town knows what you need. It knows what you're hiding. It knows everything, and it decided to do it in the worst way possible, talking to a therapist and pretending like your dad exists. Now that we have all of that, now that people truly understand, and before I move on, the Silent Hill, Shattered Memories, the other world, I know a lot of people criticize it because it's just a running section. And I'm not gonna say that I like it, but it does have these effects. But that's what people don't get it. The character that you're playing with, she's frozen in time. You get? She's frozen. She doesn't want to move on. She still believes that her dad is alive. So what does the town do? it freezes everything around her, and all you can do is escape, but to no avail, because you can escape no matter how far you go. The town is still frozen. The town is trying to say to her, accept it, accept that you're frozen in time and move on, break the cycle. And people just say, no, it's just a boring other world, they were lazy. And that's just, bro, look at the deeper meaning of the game, bro. This is what Silent Hill actually means. All those games, what does it show us? All those games, they show us that the town, it differs, that the town is not consistent by design. It shows it's like the town is not supposed to have monsters, the same monsters every time, the same location every time. It doesn't have to have the other world the same every single time. Silent Hill is a personal hell. And that's why I think the franchise is so powerful. Because you can have any type of character with any type of emotion or something they're hiding, and you can create an entirely new Silent Hill, an entirely new how do you call it, other world, and it still be Silent Hill if you get the basics right. Not like Silent Hill F that throw that concept out of the window and made their game look like a Souls-like. But do you understand now? Like, whoever is watching, let's say that Silent Hill actually exists. The version that you will see and I will see will never be the same. Never, not even an inch. And that's what people don't understand, and why it boggles me. And I hope this video actually makes sense, because I'm a fan of the games. I did play them, and I'm rethinking about replaying them again, beginning with Silent Hill 1. And people need to understand this, the fandom. You need to understand this now before it's too late, because if Silent Hill F comes out and people just continue loving it and liking it, Konami will think, oh, they will do the same mistake. They will think, oh, so people like action, souls like, they do not care actually about the town and the fog and yada yada yada. It's different universe. So you know what? Just put anything we want in the game and just slap the Silent Hill on it. Let's make it like an Assassin's Creed and then put Silent Hill Assassin's Creed. You know or understand? People need to understand what the game, what the town stands for. And the moment you understand what the town stands for, replaying the games, you will understand them even more. You will feel connected to them even more. You will know